And today he told me, well, listen, you have to get rid of the baby because I'm married. When we got together, thought we were getting divorced. I had requested a divorce. Things was done, I thought, but that didn't happen. And now I'm trying to work my marriage out. So you cannot have my baby.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Do we hear that correctly? Her baby daddy is married? Her baby daddy is looking to work his marriage out, so she needs to get rid of the baby? Welcome to another episode of Wall Watch, where we see how women respond to hitting the wall. Today, the question is, what is going on with women today? Are they actually listening to men, or are they really falling for the okie doke? Now, I want you guys to comment your thoughts under this video because we're gonna go back in this video and see exactly how we got here. So make sure you like the video, then subscribe to the channel because I'm posting daily content. My name is Bertrand. I am the coolest dude on the planet, and I'm your friend. Confidence and clarity is the goal. So here we go.
I'm 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and my child's father, all within a day of finding out that I was pregnant, that I may have an ectopic pregnancy, going to the emergency rooms, spending hours and hours and hours getting poked and prodded to find out that my baby's okay and in my uterus where they should be, and my hormone levels are where they should be. So within a day of finding all that out, the father of my child said he doesn't want this. He doesn't think this is a good idea, and he wants me to not keep the baby. Let me be very clear that my child's father was very aware of what was going on. This wasn't like nobody was trapped. He repeated over and over and over again how bad he wanted us to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to get pregnant. And then I get pregnant and he's like, no. And today he told me, well, listen, you have to get rid of the baby because I'm married. When we got together, thought we were getting divorced. I had requested a divorce. Things was done, I thought, but that didn't happen. And
I have to say this. When it comes to divorce, it's the words, the terminology, because I'm a divorced man. The terminology is not requested, it's filed or finalized, right? Meaning I'm filing divorce, or the divorce is in progress, or the divorce has been finalized since whenever the day it gets finalized, because it's a process. But let's continue.
And now I'm trying to work my marriage out. So you cannot have my baby. So now here we are. And I'm trying to keep my stress levels down because one of the reasons they thought it was, or wanted to rule out it being ectopic pregnancy, was because I was bleeding and still having a little bleeding issues. I'm trying to stay calm.
Another thing that I realized about what's known as a high risk pregnancy, or complications during pregnancy. This is what Kevin Samuels was trying to warn women about, with the whole, when you reach a certain age, like you put your life on the line when it comes to trying to have a child. Can it be done? Can the child be healthy? Absolutely. But they call it high risk for a reason, meaning something can happen to the baby or something can happen to the mom. She says she's 41 and this is her first child. It does not sound like she's on the same page as this man. So it makes me ask, has she ever been on the same page with this man? Because, I don't know. Let's continue.
Keep the stress down so I don't harm my baby, but I'm just struggling because I'm trying to figure out why I needed this, why I needed to be trying to ask God, like, why I needed to be bent and broken and snapped in this way.
I know I'm interrupting her again. I'm gonna need her to do a little bit better on the acting because, like, um, I don't know. I mean, listen, I just saw the movie Last Straw with Taraji P. Henson. That performance, amazing. What I'm looking at right here, let's continue.
I was minding my business, y'all. That man was persistent to even get a chance with me. And we were damn near living together. And then to say you're and now
Okay, so this is where I get irritated with women, right? Was he persistent or was he consistent? What do I mean by that? Okay, so if you're damn near living with someone, it doesn't mean that he's persistent. At this point, it means that the interaction is consistent, meaning this is consistently happening. Persistent means he's like coming after you, like he's pursuing you. The pursuit has already happened. This is why they're damn near living together. So it's a anyway, let's continue.
my poor baby. Poor baby. I didn't want this life for my baby. And you know what? I'm 41. I don't have any children. This is my first child. I didn't ever even think I wanted any. So I certainly wasn't trying to but now it's here. Just married the whole time. Intentionally got me pregnant. And once I got pregnant, told me I don't want nothing to do with this.
Oh my gosh. It sounds like she is about to make this guy pay, and he's going to pay a big, hefty price. Now, I always ask you guys, do you think she's telling us the truth or do you think she's telling us how she feels? The reason I'm asking you guys that is when I was listening to her, there was a few red flags that I came across. For instance, one of them was her talking about him being persistent. Now, when I first hear these things, right, it's like, okay, it makes sense. The way that she's presenting the story, it sounds truthful because what we know about marriage is it's miserable, right? First, let's start there. It's miserable. Now, the reason why it becomes miserable is because the wife usually takes sex off the table. Now, for all the married men out there, we understand, or you understand, because I was married, but I'm also divorced, right? So I went through both processes. When a wife takes sex off the table, you lose motivation to do anything. You lose motivation to even care for yourself, right? Because you're thinking, well, man, when is she ever gonna give me some? Or she's never gonna give me some, so forget it, screw all of this, right? And so it may not be that dramatic or drastic, but it is something that will happen. Now, when she brought up the persistent thing, right? When someone says you're persistently going after something, that usually means no, but he keeps coming. No, but here he comes again. No, but here he comes again, right? That's persistent. What she's talking about is way more consistent, meaning if you're together, if you are spending a lot of time together, to me, that takes the persistence out of it. Now, this also makes me think, is she actually, did she hear him actually say this, or is this what she wanted to hear? Right? Men and women, I'm not going to lie to you guys. We clearly speak two different languages. For instance, women live life through their emotions. Men, we live life through logic. We try to live based on what we can prove, whereas women are basically just living life based on how they feel, right? So we get two different perspectives. Now, let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. We heard her side of the story, but what's his side of the story? And then what's actually true? Now, I believe she put a little bit of truth in there just by saying, yeah, well, he wanted, he didn't want the baby because he wanted to go work out his marriage. Now, that's a damn good reason to not want an outside baby. Now, the crazy thing was the comments, right? The women in the comments were getting on her head. Get rid of the baby. Get rid of the baby. Get rid of the baby. Yes, your feelings are valid, but this is not the life that you want to bring a child into. You're already on the outside. Do you really want to be the outside woman? These are questions, these are things that this woman is clearly not thinking about. That's why I said, that's a red flag. For instance, another red flag was her actual performance, right? Like, she did a lot of hard sniffing, but there wasn't a lot of tears. This is devastating news. Now, I'm not saying that maybe, on other days that she wasn't crying, or that, there was a time where she was not overly emotional, but just the fact that this is something that just happened and she's presenting this, I would have thought that the passion, the intensity would have been much higher, because one, there's a baby involved, which makes everybody nervous, because like she said, she thought she was having an ectopic pregnancy. Now, I had to do a little bit of research on that to figure out what ectopic means, which basically means that the baby would have been growing outside of the uterus. Right? That's what would have been causing the bleeding. Knowing that this woman is 41 and understanding what high risk pregnancy is, because I went through it. My ex-wife was way older than me. But I bring that up because when you're dealing with an older woman, she already has trauma and damage that she's already been dealing with. So to put something like this on her plate, this is something that can actually send a woman over the edge. Now, think about it. Think about how scary it is for a man who's trying to get his marriage back, right? Now, pair that with the fact that this woman is saying, I don't know. Because just listening to this, I'm like, okay, was this her boyfriend? Did this man commit to her, right? Like, what I gathered from what she was saying is this man consistently put her through the mattress. It was a whole bunch of moaning and groaning. It was a whole bunch of possibly bed boards broken. And it sounded like this woman did not keep her legs closed. In fact, it sounded like this man had complete access to her, which again makes sense because this man was living the life that he wanted to live. But this is a lesson to the ladies out there. Men, we have a woman that we really love. And then we have women that we just want to put through the mattress. The reason why is because we always need a release. I get it. Women, emotionally, if you're not there and if he doesn't do something to make you feel a certain way, if you're not just mentally in it, like you don't feel like you should have to do it. But guess what? That urge that he has to get a release, it doesn't go away unless it stops working. It stops working. That's the only thing that I could see. But even at that point, I still hear about guys who are willing to do things for women in place of it not working. Here's another thing that I thought of, and this is not me trying to take up for this guy. This is just me thinking objectively, because we have a woman telling a story. It is very easy to villainize a man in these days and times. The only example, or the example that comes to my mind, is that Meg Thee Stallion case where she claimed that she got shot. And based on all the information that I received, the evidence that I saw, I was like, oh, okay, no, Tory Lanez is gonna be good. But not only was he not good, he was sent to jail, and then he got stabbed a whole bunch of times. I believe it was like 14 times. I say that to say this: it is very easy to villainize a man. There's two things that usually go across his mind, especially if she made it to 41 and she has no kids. The two things that men are usually thinking is she doesn't want kids or she cannot have kids. Now, I'm not saying that that's the best choice and that you should just shoot up the club, right? But I mean, let's be honest, fellas, like the majority of us, if we have the opportunity to be with the woman and not pull out, a lot of men are not pulling out. A lot of men are not pulling out. We see some baby mamas and we like, oh, what were you thinking? right? And then the question is, or the answer is, he wasn't thinking. He was just reacting. He was reacting to an urge that he had inside of his body. Both of these people, both this man and this woman, now have to reinvent themselves. He has to reinvent himself, because what women don't understand is when a man has a broken heart, he's going to look at the world a different way. He's going to look at things and he's going to do things that he probably wouldn't do if he was in his right mind. I'm saying that because I'm a man who's had his heart broken before, and I can tell you there was some dumb ass decisions that were made as a result of that. So when women claim that they want a man that's emotionally available, men who have been emotionally available for a woman have realized that those emotions are being used against you. Those emotions are her way of actually bullying you, right? Because what she's gonna do is use tactics like, oh, what a man would act like this, or a man would do this, or a man would do that. All she's really doing is just pushing buttons to see which emotion she can control you with. So fellas, this is why I keep saying, focus on your mind, focus on your body, focus on your finances. That is the most important thing. I reserve the right to be wrong about what I'm about to say, but if this man has or had a certain amount of money, he could take care of his wife and this woman, because this woman looks and sounds like she's about to have this baby. She does not sound like a woman that's going to get rid of this baby, which means this is going to be a problem, an issue for him and his marriage. Now, the question will be, is his wife going to be willing to work through something like this? Because this woman is going to make sure that whenever that baby needs something, she causes a scene, right? She's going to cause drama, because in her mind, she's saying, well, this man is married and he should have told me this before all of this happened. And that's true, but that's not usually how things happen. For instance, men lie just like women lie. But with all that being said, I got a question for you. What do you think? Comment under this video. Remember, when you are watching these videos, you are becoming the best version of yourself. Now that this video is done, do me a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.